Hello and hello. Happy Sunday. Yes, happy Sunday. I am going to just give it a moment or two here while the notification goes out. Thank you to everyone who is tuning in today on this beautiful Sunday in Atlanta. Let me turn my ringer off here. Pardon me for that. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. My name is Joelle, and I am the Viberarian. I am here to elevate, enlighten, and empower. And can I tell you, I am just so delighted to have this experience. Every day just unfolds something new and delightful and magical, and today is no different. And so when I come here, it is my time to share with you all and hope that you will also elevate, enlighten, and empower. And this message today has been coming in for over a week now, and it had some more fuel added to the fire this morning when I was talking with my soul sister Stacy and her tree in her yard. So today is all about talking to the trees. Okay, hey, good vibe tribe. Thank you everyone for popping on. Happy to see I'm working through the dashboard here. So I'm going to go ahead and still give it about 2 minutes here while we just have our little social time. I'll try to put a timestamp on this for those who want to miss that intro housekeeping stuff. But this is a beautiful, beautiful time. I mean, let's look at the weather first of all. If you're in Atlanta, it's like a little baby summer. It's 80 degrees, give or take, 75 degrees. The leaves are still on the trees. The nights are getting a little cool. I know the northern folks are definitely trending towards fall, and they're getting the beautiful weather with the crisp, bright colors. So the seasonal switch is here before it gets too cold. All right. So the energy of trees. Let me get myself together. This is a different experience. My readings are continuing to evolve as Spirit works with me on being a communicator of what guidance wants to come through. So as you know, I use tarot and oracle cards. And this really isn't necessarily in the cards, but I'm going to leave that little logo up because today I've got 8 at least decks pulled. So I want you to pull up your tea or beverage of choice and grab a chair. And if we can, moderator, thank you for putting all the links when I talk about things into the chat. If you're here, go ahead and say hello. We've got activity here. So Stacy, Tanya, Jackie, I'm hoping I'll see Lala in a little bit. That's my good vibe tribe, like my closely rooted community that is nourishing and supporting me. And I'm just so grateful to have that. So I'm trying to determine where Spirit wants to start. Okay, last week, if you tuned into my messages at Holistic Health and Wellness, I was up there doing my Sunday readings with clients, and I do a live stream and read with the audience. And there we are. I knew she was popping on. Hello, Jackie. Thank you. All right. So one of the ladies that I spoke about in the live reading last week, it was a husband and wife team, and the energy of healing plants and herbs and working with medicine, the mortar and pestle, as a way of working with herbs and bringing in ancestral wisdom and knowledge to help us navigate these times. And specifically bringing in, and it started with him wanting to talk to his grandmother to learn all the things that he wished he could have learned from her about her knowledge of nature, about her knowledge of which plants healed and which ones didn't. He wanted to recover that knowledge. It was like in his soul. And also because he was going through like a deep illness himself. And so not wanting to find the miracle cure drug, but wanting to connect with his grandmother wisdom, was kind of the essence that came through. And then his wife subsequently later had said that she was going to just venture out because she'd always wanted to look at maybe doing some healing with herbs. And she didn't know that he had said that, and he wasn't there for that part. So I was able to like connect the two of them. And she said, "Do you mean we could do this together?" I'm like, absolutely. Clearly, the two of you are resonating with this desire to bring forth something together in partnership or adding in your own way from our past selves, something that's going to bring healing to the earth. And so like they were both very delighted. And then subsequent messages kept coming in about healing with herbs. The mortar and pestle came out many times. Subsequent, and I found like several people who are doing herb classes, aromatherapy class, family herbal healing certifications. It is coming right now. This plant energy, this tree energy and medicine is coming forward. So one of the parts that they did share in their reading was when she got this card right here, the portal. Okay, now when I got this card, I had to laugh because I always am having a reading with the people who I'm reading with because we're all connected, right? So this card, I always giggle because inside of this image right here, there's a kind of neon looking effect. Let's see if I can even get any better light with sparkles. Now, when I went to Mount Shasta a few years ago with a group of women, we were doing a high heart activation. We went to Mount Shasta and we went to the old growth redwoods, the grand elder trees, the largest ones in North America. So it was a 2-part trip, right? And I've talked about this before, but we went to a place called Ascension Rock. We were led by a brother named Paula Venus, who works with Saint Germain, and he took us to this well-known vortex known as Ascension Rock. Now, when I laid on Ascension Rock, all of us had different experiences, right? I put my back on Ascension Rock, and I don't remember then how long I was away. But what I do remember is going through some form of tunnel that had like amusement park type rides or sparkles like you would see as you're getting ready to like launch down a hill. That blue sparkly pink of going through some kind of teleportation device and back was all that I consciously remember of that trip. However, when I got back or out, I guess I would say out of the portal was what I wanted to say. When I got back out of the portal and back into the natural environment where we were, the whole quality of the atmosphere was very different. And all of us were noticing that there was a sparkling in the air or something else. And as I was regathering myself and looked up, there was a tall tree, and one branch of the tree started going like this. And I thought to myself, that looks like that tree is waving to me, like it was welcoming me back. Was how I felt. And I thought to myself, and I was not on any kind of substances. I was not tripping. Okay, this was like real life situation. So I said to myself, is the tree waving? And then I looked for breezes of any other movement. And there were other branches around that one branch that were not moving, but the one that was, it would do this. And it wasn't just doing it constantly. It was like, hey. So I started communicating with the tree, and then I turned to the people, I think, and I said, I don't know if you remember, Tanya, at all, what I said, like, is that tree waving at me or something? So the idea of trees communicating in like a physical sense, I've actually experienced something like that. So when I was talking with this lady, her husband was like, oh, I've seen that on Instagram too. So he pulled up, there's a current trend where people are encountering trees. So I'm going to play a short video clip here. Hopefully the technology will work right. If any of you have seen any of this, people talking to trees TikTok trend, please comment below or drop some links to me, or if you have your own experience, that we're going to get to that too. So let me see, get over here. Let me get over here and get this loaded up real quick. All right. All right, this is
about to do it. Tree, it touch my shoulder.
Please disregard my appearance. Y'all know I don't get good looking to be on this app, but this tree touch my shoulder trend is interesting. You're supposed to find a tree low enough to touch you, which I have one right here. I'm by myself, and if anyone's watching me, they're going to think I'm absolutely psycho. But I'm just going to pop up in here, and I'm going to tell this tree, hi, if you can hear me, touch my shoulder. Thank you. What the hell? I feel like that was cheap. It was kind of windy. I'm going to try one more time. Tree, if you can hear me, touch my shoulder. There's like no wind. The human was stunned.
all right. So get back off of that. There are others, all right, and everyone. Okay, here's another one. Let me go ahead and get this.
I just talked to a tree. Yes, I talked to a tree. I saw it on TikTok, so I went to my backyard and I talked to a tree and it responded to me. And I called my sister. She's not picking up the phone, but I need you guys to see this. Okay, there is nothing on the side of me. There's nothing on the side of me, nothing above me. Okay, tree, if you can hear me, touch my shoulder. Okay, tree, did you guys see that? If you can hear me, touch my shoulder. Oh my God, thank you. Tree, if you can hear me, touch my shoulder.
Okay, let me get that stopped here. So, as you can see, there is a lot going on for people that is being captured in witness mode. All right. So, I've had my own experiences, like any kind of way that you can become more aware as the vibration is shifting. We have the ability to become more aware of those types of communications. So if we look at the fact that we are ascending and beginning to have higher degree communication, everything on Gaia is ascending and being able to have higher communication. So I've been seeing people teaching their pets to tap words on little things and to express sentences. And I'm freaking out at the cats telling the owner that the dog's back is hurt, but I've seen it, right? Okay. Trees waving, plants. There's a guy called Jesus the Living Son who shows how to be an airbender, waterbender, earthbender, firebender, and he is teaching other people how to begin moving and communicating through the elements in a way that it's like if you speak it, then all of a sudden it's like the trees were waiting for somebody to ask them something. Something. Okay. And they've been here all along, and trees possess the elder wisdom, right? We're talking about as the oldest of time, the ancient tree, the tree of life, all of those things activate within us this idea that there is some form of universal consciousness structure that is completely connected through limbs and branches and outgrowth that is represented by the cosmic tree of life. Okay, so let me see where I'm going. Okay. So in this deck, I knew that I had a tree card, and I've been following this lady, Alex Raccoon, who is the author of this deck. I've been following her on Instagram actually quite a long time. And I knew that I had seen something that was tree related before, so I went searching for it. But I also knew that this image was not exactly the one that I remembered. So I went and found, and I knew this card was Spirit. This is the brown one is the very first card I got when I opened this deck and did a reading with it the first time. So I'm going to go back in and we're going to get the guidance for that. But the very first tree card that I ever shared with someone or saw that touched me from this particular artist, I will show you here. Wisdom, spirit, strength, love, peace. I am growing more wise and beautiful with age. I think that's what that says. Oops, let me go back. Maybe I can make it a little bit bigger. Yes, with age. Okay. Look at that wisdom, the gray hair. And as we know, last week, the crone image, the ancestral wisdom was coming through. So when I found that picture, I was like, oh, that's it. That's the one that I recalled. But nevertheless, the tree guidance that came through me with the client came through a different pathway. So let's first start with this portal, adventure, ancestors, and calling. All right. Now, what this is going to be is I have been guided which decks have tree energy that have messages for us. And so we are going to draw some cards live, but I've also got some cards ready from the conversations that have been like pushing forward through me to gather for this time to deliver. All right. So let's start with the portal card number 17, the ancestors. And it says, are you ready? Are you ready? Buckle up, buckle up. Okay, so thank you for putting the link to that deck there. If you're in the chat, everyone catch up with it. Okay, so I am exploring the callings of my soul and new beginnings. Death and rebirth. This is on page 63, which is a 9, which is conclusions. We've been talking about the Phoenix and all that. You'll have to back up a little bit to catch on to that, but we're deep in Scorpio season, so it is here. Are you ready? The portal card is a positive omen that a loving and powerful spirit ancestor is guiding you or trying to. They've assisted you many times before as signs, synchronicities, dreams, gut intuitions. They have even come briefly into your life through other people. They seek to help you into a new phase. Familiar whispers in the night have led you into the forest. You've received many gifts lately to aid you. You have a compass and map or heart and mind to navigate with, a lantern or connection with spirit to light your way, a journal, growth and vision to learn from, and your trusted friend, Mr. Spidey the Spider. Can you spot him? He will stay close and keep an eye out. He will warn you when you are being too risky or naive. Now, I'll pause right there to say that this lady had a big spider brooch on her orange shawl, and it was a big black and sparkly, piece of jewelry. And of course, she was all in the Halloween vibe. But so when Spidey McSpider came out to tell her that he was going to be, this energy was going to be working with her, we both kind of were like, oh, what? Okay, so continuing on. And remind me to come back to spider energy in just a moment. All right. He will keep you close and keep an eye out. He will warn you when you are being too risky or naive. You are a curious spirit, and you must never be ashamed of that. The callings we feel and the desires we hold also desire to be realized. These mysteries chose you, and they are seeking you. Will you seek them too? A tree gently asks you. You realize this tree is your ancestor. Suddenly, the roots of the tree untangle and create an opening, a deep portal, swirling with magic and possibility. As the wise tree says, I know of a place where you might find what you don't know you are searching for. You are looking for something, and something is looking for you. Are you ready? She smiles. She already knows the answer. You already know the answer too. Stay grounded in who you are. This card has an energy of soul longing and yearning. If you felt a calling for something else, listen to it. Perhaps you are holding back because you're too comfortable with what is familiar and known. Embrace the unknown. No risk, no magic. If you don't cross the threshold, you will never know. All right, that's that fool. We got to just go ahead and jump in, right? Now it says the manifestation enhancer, which interestingly has a nice little tree on it in the book. I don't know if this will come through or not. But it says here, connect with your guides or ancestors. Say a prayer of gratitude for the times they've appeared in your journey. Ashe. Engage in spiritual solitude or solitude, prayer, meditation, and etc., and light a candle for them. Offer a crystal to channel energy through. Keep it near. Late at night or before dawn, the veil is thin and your chances are heightened. Ask for a sign. Seek patterns and listen with your soul. You are capable of connecting with these loving and metaphysical beings who protect and guide you. All right, Ashe, yes. And I have to tell you that my ancestor altar space is right here. And as I was getting set up, I was guided to pull this card that I keep on it. The ancestors are moving mountains to see you rise. And here's our trees. All right. So yes, and I also have my candle that I was gifted by my sister Stacy for my birthday. And so thank you and thank you. All right, so leading up to this point, we've had this card. I got together with my Libra sisterhood as we wrapped up Libra season and embraced the energy of what we call Libra shadow, which is really Scorpio and Virgo on the front and Scorpio on the back, but we'll give you all your sign, okay? So Scorpio season, we were closing it out and exchanging some gifts. So if Stacy and her girlfriend Tiana came, I got this beautiful, beautiful shirt, which I will show you in the future for in the cards. And I love the creativity. And then I opened the other basket. I was like, what is this? And this was in the bag. Now, I was like, wow, I love it. I love it, right? And Stacey was like, really? I was like, yes, right? So the thing was, and I wish I could get her on the phone here. Maybe we'll get her in a little bit. If you put it in the comments, Stacey, is that she was like, it was just like a last minute addition to your gift bag, literally like moments before. And I was like, but it was exactly right. Like it was so right because it was already affirming this portal and these trees. So I knew that the cards, this is what led me down the links to try to to find the image that I knew. So I knew that this card, right? I was like, oh, the tree images are coming through. Now, I am a fan of like the Lord of the Rings movies, but first the books, okay? I read them in childhood, The Hobbit, that whole what Tolkien was bringing in was basically a version of the higher story of the Celestials being on Earth and talking about the energy change from Middle Earth and when there was magic and fairy and elves present to the more mundane man era where there was less magic. And one of the beings that was in the old Middle Earth were the Ents. And the Ents were these beings that were alive, and they were considered to be the tree shepherds, right? They were the ones that kind of guided them. They were the sentient tree beings that were able to communicate with man, and they had councils, and they were the tendings of the forest. And depending on which part of the realm you were in, the tree spirits had different energies, but the ants were considered to be like the shepherds. So the fact that this tree, again, was coming up, I'm like, oh, this is great. And if you don't know anything about the Viberary and the Viberarian, one of my logos is the tree. And this is what I was shown by my guidance in the terms of the structure that is provided through the services that I'm bringing forward, which are to elevate and enlighten and empower from the illumined minds of conscious humanity that is outspread to offer those gifts into the world. So again, tree and me is like this. So when I have not pulled back out the guidance of this card, so I want to go ahead and read this at this point. This is card number 12. If you are in need of a lesson, there is wisdom in the trees. Now, look how beautiful, just sitting there. Wise energy. All right. And let me get you this tree. Oh yeah, the tree jumped out at here in the store on the way. It was like, what in the world? So my reaction was like, oh my God, you got me a tree, right? Kind of like mind blowing. So, okay, so here we go. I am tuning into stillness, peace, and ancient wisdom. If you have this card, you are being guided to deeply connect and vibrate with the energy of nature at this time. It has much to teach you, especially the spirit of the trees. If you can be still, present, and quiet and listen, only then will you understand that it has to show you an intelligence that has existed for millions of years, the power of deep breath, ancient knowledge, and pure presence. The wisdom of the tree invites you to view abundance and existence in a whole new way, very different from the human way. It can teach you that you too can bear fruit and flowers gently and gracefully. You don't need to push or force things so hard. Our best work and flow come from a state of ease and contentment, not stress and hurry. It's interesting because the ants characters in Lord of the Rings, they were slow, and like they had a whole meeting that was taking several hours to decide what to do about this disruption to their realm that was brought in by these creatures who were involved in this epic battle of dark and light. And the ants like had a 4-hour meeting just to say, okay, we believe these little things are real. Right? And the hobbits were getting mad. They're like, you need to hurry. We got problems right here. We don't have time for your slowness, right? Rush. But the trees were like, we don't rush to do anything, right? We do it as the trees will do it, with purpose and slow, and that kind of continuity that takes the energy out of reaction. The long arc of a life cycle of hundreds of thousands of years or decades of years, it becomes less urgent to the mindset of that rooted being that understands that cultivation is much longer than what the human lifespan of consciousness is experiencing in our physical form right now. So it says this card is as an omen that you are cultivating inner peace and wisdom. Your soul has been seeking deep rest and a break from society. Listen to that. It's okay to take a break from it all. A priestess of nature must have time and spiritual solitude to connect with the forces unseen. As a vessel of spirit, this is where she draws her power from. There is a clean and steady stream that flows right beside you. Will you take a drink from these life-giving waters? They hold ancient secrets and can purify you when you most need it, especially when your hands are dirty. Nature can help cleanse your soul after too much focus on city life or egoic desires. Trees have been here since the dawn of the earth, whereas humanity has only just arrived and seeks to conquer. We must remember our place alongside the trees. They are the wise and ancient ones. They are intelligent in ways that are far beyond us, different from us. They are vital in sustaining life, and we could not go on without them. But life would go on without us. The enhancer for manifestation is to sit or lie beside a tree spirit. Meditate beneath it and graciously ask for a vision or insight. Be patient. Thank it for the beauty and precious oxygen it provides. Communicate with it, touch it, feel it, and embody its energy. If you can, have a picnic outdoors, taking a book, journal, or drawing pad. Bring that energy back with you into your life and bear fruit effortlessly. I love that. Bearing fruit effortlessly. Okay. So let me make a note about this because I have to come back here to this point. Hold on, sir. Oh, yes. Okay. This is so much channeling coming in. Okay. Now I knew again that there was a different energy that I had seen. Oh my goodness. Okay, I don't know. Oh my goodness. Pardon me one moment. I have to take myself off stage for just one moment. Oh, I'm so sorry. I knew that was a delivery people from my Cook Unity. Okay. I love my Cook Unity. That was my food for the week. I needed to make sure he knew where he was going. Okay. So let me come back in. All right. So 333. Yes, that was really auspicious timing. That was wild. Okay. So we had to pause there for a little bit. All right. So as I was thinking, as I know I've seen this, something more like this. So, the other thing is that on the same day that she gave me this, I had treated myself to a new deck. I knew I needed to get it, and I had seen a reader named Laura Lee read with this on her channel. I'll try to put a link to it below. Laura Lee Tarot, I think is her name. She's a nice, sweet lady, but I think she used this deck, and I thought, oh, I would like to see more of it, and it is the Rooted Woman Oracle. Okay, so this is cool because I've been seeing myself connected to the Akash through the trunk of a tree, like sitting within it and downloading and receiving through the galactic network, the downloads that I receive. So when I saw this, I was like, okay, now I have not read from this yet. I've only looked at the beginning part. So we are going to read with this deck today. All right, keeping it moving. So when I did further diving to see where is this imaging coming from, a couple years ago, I ordered this deck, and it is from a lady named Nalini, who she lives over, I want to say, in Thailand. She is a beautiful sister, and she created this deck called the Torch of Ascension. And these are her art that are drawn and filled with light language. Remembering Love and Light Language is her channel on Instagram and YouTube. And Nalini, and I don't know, Nalini Lovasuf is the lady. So in this deck is this card. Okay. I don't even, what can a person say? To have received two such resonance objects, to me, is evidence of how the universal network can facilitate miraculous information packages, just like our miraculous data packages go back and forth between country to country instantaneously. The universal life tree is sending packets and packets of information, tangible things, not just this, tangible things back and forth to us through the resource network. I could not have ordered and looked for a version of this, right? I mean, this is amazing. Okay. Now, what's interesting is that the lady who also got this card, the other card that she got from the What We Have Forgotten, was the 4 directions, the medicine wheel that we see here kind of in that portal. So we're going to do something else to bring in the energy from the medicine wheel. Yes, beautiful, beautiful love. Yes, bearing fruit effortlessly. Okay, so let us see what this shaman tree wants to say. And I know I actually got this card recently because I sent it to my sister Alka of Crystal Matchmakers because she was also very connected with the tree spirit and shamanism when it came in. So let me figure out which actual tab has this open. Okay. And then I'll share my screen. As a matter of fact, I'll just share it briefly because oh, yes. I'm not going to be able to share, but that's fine because it's just a picture of the card. But I will read then the guidance that comes from this Torch of Ascension, the Tree and Plant Kingdom Shaman Tree. Remember us, the trees who are homes to many beings on earth? We were giants. Our roots went deep and branches reached far and high. Remember us. Connect with us. Wherever you are, under a tree or at home, close your eyes and tune into the energy of the land beneath you. You will find us. You will once again sit on our giant branch and feel the union between us. You may see yourself once again as insects, worms, serpents, or even larger animals like panther. Whichever you are, feel the love and gratitude between you and me. I invite you again to meditate. See yourself as a tree. Feel your roots anchoring lower and lower into Mother Earth's layers. Feel your connection with her elements. Feel the pulsations of yours and hers. Feel her vibration travel up your vessel. See your branches extend higher and higher into the sky, reaching towards the stars, anchoring their lights into your body. I am you and you are me. You shared this life as a tree. I, spirit of a shaman tree, come to you, offering you my healing properties for you to rejuvenate, for you to reconnect with your biocellular. Your DNA is connected to ours. Invite us more into your being so that your vessel may return to its balanced state. We also offer you stillness within midst of constant movement of change. Remember, when there is chaos, there is a place of stillness within you that you can find. I am a portal, just like many of you. I pass energy in and out, and so do you. Know, dear one, you are a portal which transcends energy. Be in stillness, yet offer movement and flow. Om Ta Ti Ta Raya. Om Rana Te Til Ta Ya Na Wa. I will show that portion of the light language that she channels so you can see what I was reading at that point. All right. So it says, Shaman Tree invites you to connect deeper with the tree and plant kingdom. It is here representing knowledge, wisdom of plant medicine, which has long been passed down from generations to generations. If you have been hearing a call to connect with plant medicine or tree spirit, now is the time! ! Okay. Many plant medicines out there which still exist in their natural habitats are waiting to be discovered for their authentic healing properties. Many plants and trees are here with their mission of spreading themselves and their medicinal properties worldwide to be used with care and respect. Therefore, connect. Like all things in this universe, trees and plants hold so much light codes within them as you do. Let the trees reflect the codes which you have within you. Connect with them and speak, draw, write, sound out any codes that flow through. Wherever you are, no matter whether you are in a forest, garden, or inside your home, ground yourself and connect to the divine spirit of the land. There you can project yourself in the realm of earth when trees were giants and home to many beings. All right, the series of messages is it is time to welcome plant medicines as well as their healing spirits into your home and body. They offer many healing properties which purify energy, plus align your DNA and genetics to a balanced state and in turn meet the highest potentials. Many trees are portals. Simply connect and tune in. You will find that these old friends can take you into many realms beyond this physical dimension. Trees and plants are here to assist us. This is their mission. Welcome them in and let them assist you in activating codes within. And can you feel the tall, friendly tree beings with you? Connect. Enjoy your conversations with them. Notice subtle energy and connection between yourself and the tree. Ground yourself deeper than you ever have. Then reach higher in spirit and feel the divine connection. As above, so below. Just like the trees, you are a portal. Practice grounding every day and focus on flow of energy, passing residues and densities so that they can be recycled or transmuted into love and into light. Okay, yes. Meditate, find stillness within the chaos, and know that within movement there is a place of stillness and peace in constant flow of change. All right, so let me pull up this light language here so you can see it. And I hope you can see that I am smiling from ear to ear about this. 1 second here. Need to check. My moderator is telling me something here. Okay. Message. All right, so share screen. So here's the section. Om Ta Ti Ta Raya. Om Rana Te Ta Ya Nawa. Now, on her channel, Nalene plays shaman drum. She's always out in nature. She is singing. She's doing light language. She does activations and online cacao ceremonies. So please do connect with her if any of this shaman tree calling is speaking to you to activate the deeper level of consciousness through light code work and connecting with that. Please continue to reach out. Okay, so continuing forward, let me continue to move these around. All right. Our friend Dawn, who is the owner of Holistic Health and Wellness, where I did the live stream last week, she is on a trip to Peru to Lake Titicaca and Machu Picchu, and she is doing a huge amount of activation work. 44, as I said, that was the length of time on this video. So as she was leaving, and that Sunday, we were having a conversation with the gentleman about his herbal teas, plant medicines, traveling, forest, plant energy. So when I got home, I knew there was something in this very unique deck that I have called the Amazonian Angel Oracle, working with angels, devas, and plant spirits. So I thought, okay, why are you leading me here? And of course, then there was the Angel of Plant Medicine, which I have the card over here. I'm going to hold that till the next one because we got to stay with the tree plants at this point. But we had here card number 3, okay, for the 333 earlier. And we have card number 3, the Angel of Trees. Now, this gentleman is renowned, the creator of the deck, the artist, Pablo Amaringo, is known for his cultural perspective and art through psychedelics, plant medicine, and he's a shamanic artist who passed away in 2009, and he was doing his channeled writings and things based on the knowledge of the Mundo Amazonica, the spiritual world of the Amazon. So we're talking about indigenous knowledge and wisdom coming forth that is angelic and shamanic at the same time. So we have here the Angel of Trees. All right, so it says, trees are sanctuaries. Whoever knows how to speak to them, whoever knows how to listen to them can learn the truth. Quote by Hermann Hesse. Now, I want to say I haven't read this guidance yet. I've saved this for this moment, to go through as we go through it. So I'll let you know which ones I've actually already read and which ones I haven't. I have not gone in. I bookmarked it. All right. Here is Atun Mauka Kaspi, the Angel of Trees. In the Quechua language, his name means great and ancient tree. Great ancient tree. He is wearing his illustrious and richly ornamental conical crown that signifies that he is of the sublime celestial order of the virtues. Now that is in capital letters, celestial order of the virtues. That must be a thing, all right? Here he has adopted the form of the ancient Ranako tree, which is a living temple and sanctuary in the Rift mythology of the Amazon. His many-tiered temple unites the underwater realm of sirenas and yakarunas, which are subaquatic beings, with the celestial, where you see angels descending the temple stairway. The Ranako tree has an intricate, extensive trunk and branches and a labyrinthine root system, and it offers sanctuary just like a castle to many types of animals, insects, and birds. Among the roots of the Ranako tree, there are sirenas gathering aromatic flowers for their festivities. Okay, those are the water women. Pablo Amaringo once described the ayahuasca visionary experience from many years ago to me. In his vision, an angel appeared and asked him if he knew the difference between an old man and an old tree. Pablo remained silent, and the angel told him that when an old tree reaches its maximum growth, many animals have their home in the cavities in the trunks and roots. The snakes, ants, termites, frogs, and small mammals all live in peace, the state being called commensalism with each other. The trunk houses many other plants, various lianas, mosses, and lichens. In the branches are the air plants such as tamishi, huambi, and bohascoa. The flowers and the plants growing on the tree also provide nectar for the bees and hummingbirds. Many birds make their nests in the branches and the tree canopy, and monkeys make their habitat in the tangled maze of lianas. The shamans and native healers come to the tree to collect its resin, leaves, roots, flowers, and fruits to use as ingredients in traditional plant medicines. When an old tree dies, it's as if we humans have lost a grandfather who was wise, full of spiritual and medicinal wisdom, and a living library of knowledge that gave life and sanctuary to humans, animals, insects, and plants. An old tree is just like a human elder who has led a good life and has accumulated much wisdom, understanding, life experiences, and deep insights. If all this knowledge is not taught to others, it will be lost. It is essential to serve the community with your work so that when a person dies, not only their body, but also their spirit nurtures and fertilizes the rainforest and the people. Pablo has shown in his vision the correspondence between plants and humans, and that plants and trees are older than humans by eons of time, and they have much to teach us if we can only learn. This vision profoundly affected Pablo, who dedicated his art to the spirit of the plants and the natural world. In the foreword to the book, Plant Spirit Shamanism, he writes, I, Pablo, say to everybody who lives in the Amazon and the other forests of the world that they must love the plants of their land and everything that there is. He concludes, I invite you to learn from the greatest teachers of all. The plants are sacred brothers and sisters. Okay, I love this. I love this because I have had my own encounter with the sacred plant medicine of the Amazon with ayahuasca journeys, right? And the way that I came to ayahuasca was through a practice that is known as Santo Daime. And it is a syncretized, meaning syncretization is the process of taking like an indigenous spiritual practice and aligning it to Catholicism or Christianity. So what we see is like Yamanya becomes syncretized to be Mother Mary. So Santo Daime is synchronized because it came out of the Amazon ayahuasca medicine, but the man who brought this specific practice was an African, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but Mr. Ireneu, who the Native Indians kept telling him he needed to do the medicine. And he was living there with his parents. They were working in like rubber production in the 30s. So he kept saying no, but when he finally did, he went on this journey. And while he was there, what they call La Regla de Florista, the queen of the forest, came and visited him and told him that she had a message for him to bring back to the people. And so over a series of 10 years, he would journey and do these travel and commune, and she would transmit to him these hymns, these songs, what came to be known as the concentration or the work or the kind of religious structure of a Santo Daime service. So that whole bringing forth the indigenous knowledge and receiving from the plants, then also the medicine, is very resonant to that. Okay, so continuing. In this card, Atun Muaka Kaspi calls on you to be aware that whatever age you are at this time, you too are an elder in waiting. Eldership will be an all-important part of your life, not only for you, but also for the people close to you and the community where you live. On the reasonable assumption that you will have a meaningful, honorable, and productive life, meditate or reflect on your thoughts and feelings on the penultimate dimension of all your human existence on the earth. There is no one-size-fits-all approach. Everyone is unique and has their unfolding individual life path. However, as you know, the way to eldership begins now. The question arises, how do I begin this? Mythology and the archetypical tales of those that led the way can provide beacons of illumination. Although this for sure inspires you, only you can do this. Nobody else can. Rest assured that it won't be a loving government or an institutional or parental authority that can guide you in this, but precisely the opposite. You and you alone have to find the untrodden path. This is what, in shamanic terms, the way of the soul warrior. Warrior is not about fighting or being a soldier in battle. To a shaman, warrior means something very different. It is a person who accepts responsibility for their actions and does not blame others for failure. A warrior is ultimately a person who knows that all of life is a rite of passage and embraces it fully from this perspective. You are the bearer of your personal redemption. Sharing your wisdom, mistakes, successes, and experiences is how you will truly become an elder whose life nurtures and fertilizes the spirit of your family and community. In this card, Atun Mauka Kaspi calls for you to awaken to the awareness of the absolute certainty that you will be old one day, and to reflect on this as the ongoing development of your soul. Allow your life, your experiences, your missteps, your exploits, and escapades to matter. You too are an elder in waiting. Be the soul warrior now. Fully engage with life and give everything you embark on your 100% maximum best. Never delude or betray yourself with half-hearted actions or choices. Reflect on what memory of you that you want to leave behind for your family, friends, and community so that they can say your wisdom and the beauty of your soul and life experiences enriched them. Okay, yes, I receive that. Thoughts for reflection with Atun Mauka Kaspi. You too are an elder in waiting. Meditate on the dimension of your human existence. You can look at what has gone before as a guide to your life. You are the bearer of your personal redemption. Share your wisdom, mistakes, successes, and experience to truly become an elder. All right. Be the soul warrior now. Never betray yourself with half-hearted actions. All right. Yes. Okay. Tree angel, Amazonian tree angel, we receive your guidance and your message. Yes. And Ashe. Okay. Yes. Whew. Okay. Continuing on. Now, no. Hold on. I have to channel and see where I'm supposed to go next. Hold on. Okay, we are going to go into the Rooted Woman Oracle. This will be our first read with that. So whoever is in the chat, if you would please pick a number from 1, 2, or 3. Then the interesting thing in the Rooted Woman Oracle, while you're doing this, in her introductive material, she says, I firmly believe that each one of us has something extraordinary to offer the world. Each one of us reflects a unique and necessary node in the web of life on the planet at this time. We all need to make this heroine's journey, then, to become the rooted woman. And no matter how challenging the path might turn out to be, there will for sure be richness and beauty along the way. But every pilgrim needs help on her path. We all need the sense that someone somewhere is rooting for us. And the cards in this deck are offered as allies and guides on yours. Okay, when I read that, first of all, I'm already all over it. Okay, yes. Power. Okay, yes. Thank you from Vancouver Island. That's awesome. Yay, wonderful. Okay, I'm all over the place. Let me bring this back in. So let me see if I can find as I showed you before, the Viberarian is my operational unit. Like a library, a Viberarian has her library, just like a librarian has her library. This is where the container for the universal wisdom that I can help connect people to lives. And it could be videos, it could be books, it could be people, it could be anything, right? So my motto was created for me. I asked one of my dear sorors, who is excuse me, who is a professional communications person, I asked her to please help me create my motto. So I want to say that I'm trying to find it here if I can. I wasn't prepared for this one. Yes. The Viberary is an access portal to the tree of knowledge, and we are all leaves on said tree. There is something in each of us that we are to bring to the world, and the Viberary exists to facilitate the delivery of this knowledge. Okay. So here we have another rooted woman bringing forward. That was in 2017. Thank you for the blessings, everybody, for my sneezing. A wise, rooted woman bringing forward this guidance channeled in 2024. Same resonant message repeated through me, repeated through many channels. Anywhere that we can get this, the broadcast channels are resonant. It's up to you to choose to turn into the frequency that you want. And I personally am choosing to connect to the magic of trees and plants and mystery and synchronicity rather than to the frequency of the old 3D, which is not as fun to play in. Okay, so I know that this is going to be like a wonderful guidance. And I know further because here in the chat, we have two people said the same number, but the first one who said it is Lala. Now, Lala is my sister friend. She used to be here with all of us, but she is now holding down tree branches and roots in Arizona, and her business is Sow and Grow, and she helps people bring plant allies into their home. And when she was here on her last visit, she blessed me with a consultative session and brought me some plant allies into my home that I talk to all the time and thank them for helping to clear the air in my place. So I love that you were the first one to say card number 3, Lala. And so we will go ahead and also get to that. And I see Jackie here also said 3. And thank you, Beautiful Love, for joining from Vancouver Island. And for everyone who is tuning in, I'm going to try to stamp this with like when we roll from deck to deck for those who, want to know later, because we're going to keep rolling. We're going to keep rolling here. All right. Let's see. 2 more shuffles. All right. We got 3 top and bottom for both the 3s that came up in the chat. All right. Now, this is a beautiful deck. Let me just say here, and it says, may the rooted women who were our ancestors and the spirits and stories of the lands they lived in guide us on our heroines' journey. And we will say heroes and heroines' journey as well. If you tuned in the last Sunday, you know that the hero's journey was part of the guidance. All right. So hello from Colorado, another rooted woman, sister, anchoring light and energy. Dawn, great to see you. So as you can see, it's a nice deck. Highly recommended. I know it's going to be good. Nice tuck box and everything. Great weighted cards. Now, so we are going to see first 3. Oh, Imram. Look at this. Now, I know that Imram is going to be about a sacred journey, the journey home. And I see her here on these waters, card number 2. The energy of femininity floating on the waters and moving on forward. This is so beautiful. So let's see. I've heard the term Imrama, which is the sacred journey. Oh, Don said 3 too. Everybody's got 3. Yeah. Okay, so Imrama. We're going to get card number 2 for Beautiful Love in Vancouver when we do our next deck pull. Okay, so let's look at card number 2. It's so funny because I am such a water person that forest trips and things like that, I have to be really intentional about it. But I love the fact that it is coming out water, and that the water spirits were under the angel oracle roots as well, and they were being connected from the water to the higher planes. So this is not just the land that is connected to the tree energy, right? We're connecting through all of it, and like that's what feeds it. So these are the cards from the journey section of this deck. And it says here, Imram in Irish literally means rowing about. In the old tales, which were referred to as in Rama, the protagonist, always a man and usually a cleric, would set off across the sea in a simple coracle, which is a small round boat made of animal hide with no particular direction in mind. The purpose of the expedition was simply to see where God would lead them. If we undertake an Imram, then we give ourselves over to fate. There's no preordained destination. And so an Imram is, above all, about trusting whatever life might have in store for us. There is no map for this particular journey. There is no fixed path. And at certain times in our lives, that might be a good and necessary thing, because following the paths that others have set for us, the paths that the overculture confines us to, can be the cause of many problems. Those earlier paths might not reflect who we really feel we are, but although we often know that something in our life needs to change, we don't always know what that change should look like. This is a journey then in which we simply leave. We step out the door, put one foot in front of the other, grit our teeth, and walk. We trust in faith or the gods to point us in the right direction. We just grit our teeth and walk, go forward. Okay. I love this. This is beautiful. And I didn't get a chance to show you the back of the card. All right. We received that 3. Shay, thank you. Thank you. Yes. Okay. We're moving forward. It asks, were we ready to go forward through that portal? Yes, we are. Okay. So, wow, this is interesting because one of the cards was yes. Okay. This card was card number 17. This card is number 17. It is the return. So we have like the journey, setting out, and then the return. And it says here, it's just beautiful because she's under moonlight even. It's not in the day. It seems like it's in the twilight time. So let's see here what this says. This has to be in the journey set as well, because we're talking about the archetypes. Yes, it says when the heroine returns from her journey, she brings back to the world a gift, a way of seeing, of being, which is uniquely hers. She must begin to decide how, using those unique gifts, she can work to restore the fertile feminine principle to the world, to speak for the earth itself, and to take responsibility for the healing of this wasteland. In the challenged world we live in, our newfound wisdom should above all be grounded, rooted, and earthy. The creative, regenerative power of life, which comes from an understanding of our place in the wider web of this life on earth. Our task in return is to help bring about a re-enchantment of our relationship with the earth. But it's not always easy to return, and sometimes we might want to refuse it. Sometimes it's easier by far to sink into the magical otherworldliness of the journey. And for some of us, there's a strong temptation to stay withdrawn from a challenging everyday world, to go into permanent retreat, or to make the search for personal enlightenment and self-illumination our lifetime's work. But if we do, chances are that sooner or later, the world will come knocking. Because as the world and our own species lurches from crisis to crisis, as we listen to the cry of the grieving earth, the call to return is strong. The return card invites us to imagine a place in which we can be grounded, rooted, a place in which our particular gifts and wisdom can flourish, a place in which we can fully embrace the natural world around us and our part in it, a place from which we can speak. I receive as create such a place for myself and for all. Beautiful. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful energies. Okay. Thank you, trees. Thank you for this guidance coming in. Okay. Now, moving back to an oracle where I've already drawn the card out. As I was talking with Sister Stacy earlier today, literally portals were opening in the clouds and the trees were like responding to the conversation audibly, overhearing what she was saying. And we were back and forth like, wow, this is wild. It's fun. It's wild, all of that. And so part of what we were talking about was like being just where you are without beginning to pick back up the reins and try to drive or react to the circumstances that are like chaotic around us, to just continue to be in that peaceful place and then listen and move forward at the urging of spirit and in a flow state. So when that tree is talking about we don't have to push and struggle to grow, like we could just easily, where was that comment before that we had? I know bearing fruit effortlessly, right? Okay, so we are now having an opportunity to like do that. And of course, in the side of the energy, I pulled a card for her. I was guided to go to the Secrets of the Ancestors deck. So in the feminine side of her polarity, an energy stepped forward that was the masculine Father of Pentacles. So what this is speaking of is in our emotional waters, like feeling the provision and solidness, that place that it just had us create here, where it says to create a place in which we can be grounded and rooted, a place in which our particular gifts and wisdom can flourish, a place in which we can fully embrace the natural world around us and are part of it, and a place on which we can speak. That is what every effort of what we are doing with our masculine selves, like what we try to magnetize, to bring out, electrify into the world. So there was this call from this feminine self to manifest structurally something that is going to be safe, solid, rooted, sound, secure. All right. So when we went into the guidance for this, and of course, she was standing in front of a gold tree. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to see if I have your picture here of that, Stacey, and I'll pull it up. But you had this beautiful gold tree standing behind you, haloing. And I know you said that it was glorious in the sun and just glowing to you, you know. So, oh, here we go. All right. So, as I read, you'll see why I'm laughing. It says that divine love, which is romantic, communal, every kind of love is pouring through you. This is excuse me, wrong cards. Let me back up. That's coming up later. Number 41. I'm like, what? Okay. Generosity. Be your own sugar daddy. Dream bigger and raise your standards. Enjoy the pleasures and riches of love, money, and or health. Risk-taking is discouraged right now, but you are being encouraged to grow and evolve. This successful ancestor is a financially secure leader and proud provider. Father of Earth is well-rounded, and he wants you to be also. Sometimes he comes forth to declare, you did it. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. Father of Earth is a great sign when it comes to all forms of love. In the ancestral memory, the Father of Earth comes forward as Papa Bois, Father of the Woods in several Caribbean cultures. All right, so never heard the King of Pentacles talk about being the Father of the Woods until today. Okay. He lovingly and generously protects plant life and forest creatures, and this is from the Caribbean cultural perspective. Ancestral medicine says, are you giving back enough? This alchemist ancestor has the Midas touch and turns all lead into gold. Papa Earth has your back. This ancestor is emotionally and financially secure. Many of our ancestors did not have this privilege, but where you are from is not the totality of where you are going. In any challenge, make sure that money is not negatively impacting your life. Make sure that things are not a financial hot mess, or that you are not putting money ahead of what really matters. Respect your abundance, and your abundance will respect you. Can somebody type that up so I can put it on the page? Respect your abundance, and your abundance will respect you. All right. I know of Taurus, which is Taurus is the king of pentacles. I know a Taurus masculine who's always saying respect. That's how he says hello. That's how he says goodbye. All right. So we are here to respect the planet through this energy and the abundance. Like, I respect the mighty power of creation to oversupply all of us. Like, that is the beautiful part, is that there really is no lack in the natural ecosystem. All right. So next day, we are going to get the Sacred Forest from Denise Lynn. I'm going to pick card number 2 from here. And if somebody else wants to, well, I'm going to just get card number 2, top and bottom for number 2. But I am going to be doing another pick a card in just a moment. So another member of the chat, please pop in and drop a number between 1, 2, or 3. All right. Respect your abundance, and your abundance will respect you. Yes, thank you. All right, I received that. And I'm hearing throw it away by Abby Lincoln. Singing like give it away and it comes back to you. Good measure. There's nothing but abundance in the world. So let me keep here and get to. We are looking, and it says, enter a secret dimension to discover the truth of your soul through this doorway into our trees. All right, 2 more shuffles. Okay, pile number 2. Here we go. Maple spirit, generosity. And this is card number 23. I love it. I love it. Generosity, maple spirit. Okay, let's see what this one says. Okay. Beneath the large boughs of the maple tree, animals are invited to rest. At any time, you might see a doe and her fawn curled in the midday shade. Squirrels scamper up the trunk and dash from limb to limb. A rabbit stops to sniff the air. Creatures, large and small, are drawn to take refuge in the maple's shade. What you give out comes back to you tenfold. There are times in life to receive, and there are times to provide love, services, and items to others. This card suggests that this is the time to give with your whole heart. Give without thinking of what you will gain in return. By doing this, you enter into the flow of the universe, and blessings will shower upon you. Maples are thought to be a very old species of tree. They are known to withstand environmental changes and can survive and thrive in various climates. Some traditions believe that the maple lends strength and power to those around it. If you tap into the maple, you will find a sweet sap, which symbolically brings sweetness into your life. The spirit of maple says, be open to receive the bounty of the universe. At the same time, be generous with others and with yourself. A warmth of spirit radiates from you. Share from your heart and receive with an open heart, and success will blossom. I receive it. I receive it. I receive it. Okay. I'm also bookmarking this one for a turn back because I know this is going to connect. All right. So I love it. This is beautiful. Okay. Let's see what the second card. Spirit guardian of the autumn, letting go. That's a 53. This is at 8. As we see, the leaves are falling from the trees. They're coming down. As I was talking with Stacy, they were dropping to the ground, and we were talking about how like this goes back into nature, right? Those trees will become, those leaves become mulch, and there are bugs and insects that are waiting for them to get down there so they can begin their cycle of reproduction and that they can be nourished and going forward. So like all that is known is that we have to move through the natural cycles. I was listening to Alexander Quinn this week, who was bringing in a channeling from the Elohim. And it was talking about how this planet was created in such a way that like destruction is part of the natural cycle. So he was saying that there are certain seeds that only erupt after there's been a complete obliviation of a forest by a forest fire. So like we're sitting here in the tragedy of saying the loss of all these beautiful trees, yet had they not been obliterated, those seeds that had been waiting for decades to actually get the chemicals released from the ash and the heat to begin seeding to bring a new plant forth that was just dormant, waiting to emerge until that annihilation thing happened to bring it forward. I mean, there's a great lesson in learning to release easier and letting go of that which is no longer serving, and respecting the beauty of it as it transitions from one phase to the next. All right. So spirit guardian of autumn, letting go. This is my 53, which is an 8 of abundance. So I'm receiving that 35. Red, orange, yellow, and brown leaves flurry around you in a warm autumn wind. A small zephyr creates an upward spiral of leaves directed by air spirit in a dance of color and light. In the great circle of life, the trees lose their leaves in the fall so that new growth can occur in the spring. It is part of the natural cycle of life. Surrender. All is well. You don't have to do it alone. The Creator is at your side. Letting go can heal the need to be in control, the stress of unfulfilled expectations, the anguish of needing to decide how things should be, and the tension of wanting others to act in a particular way. These things lead to unhappiness. Letting go opens the space for relaxation, healing, and success. Of course, there are times to hold on as if your life depends on it, but now is the time to surrender. You are not succumbing to forces outside of yourself. Instead, you are opening to your inner guidance and to your soul. When you let go, the creative forces of the universe can flow through you. Earth-based cultures recognize the 4 power points of the year. 4 power points, the 4 corners, the medicine wheel, the 4 quadrants. There's energy coming through from that symbol and impression. And I'll bring it in a couple days. Okay. The 4 points of the year, the spring and fall equinoxes and the summer and winter solstices, had profound spiritual meaning. To those indigenous people, autumn was the time of things slowing down. It was the time of change, reflection, harvest, and preparation for the next season. The spirit guardian of autumn says, relinquish control and let spirit take over. You don't need to do everything yourself. Release in life whatever doesn't serve you. Clutter clear. Simplify, open your heart, let go, and allow spirit to help and support you. I ask for and receive the support to let go of that with ease and grace as a leaf falls from a tree to be renewed. All right. Okay. Continue to move forward. Thank you, everyone. This is just interesting energy. I've got us set back. Okay. Now, I was guided to pull out the Blue Angel Oracle. Oh, yes, let me do this first. Okay. The Blue Angel Oracle has sacred earth, health, and vitality. Look at this tree. Again, water at the root. Flowing up. It looks so much like the ones in the Avatar movie. This particular deck, the Blue Angel Oracle, Tony Carmine Salerno, he actually used artificial intelligence with his art for the first deck that he's done using that. So it's very, very different. And he talks about what it was like and how he felt about even using artificial intelligence. Like it was a whole thing for him, like as a creator and a spiritually conscious person, to step into balancing these things for each other, right? So very, very interesting here because, you know, Avatar, the movie, was very much like new technology, but it was showing an indigenous culture that was very connected to their tree, their communal consciousness. And the great tragedy of the first Avatar movie was the destruction by burning of that great tree that stored all of it. It was such a grief marker on the collective people. You know, so like feeling through those things and the disconnection of ourselves from our ancestral lineage being felt painfully, and having opportunity to restore those connections and to get the sap flowing again and more open. So we have here Sacred Earth, which says you can find healing and inspiration by connecting with the earth. Nature's healing energies will bring you peace and balance in your body, mind, and emotions. You can connect with nature's timeless wisdom anytime, anywhere, even if you are indoors. Simply close your eyes and imagine yourself surrounded by nature's beauty, perhaps on a sandy beach, in a lush grain forest, or within the sacred heart of Uluru. All right, Uluru, we're talking about down at Ayers Rock, one of the chakras of the planet. Breathe nature's healing light. Imagine yourself as a waterfall and feel yourself flow like water. Imagine you are a majestic old tree and feel your branches sway in the breeze. Feel yourself nourished by the fertile earth beneath you. You are one with this sacred planet and forever loved by nature. The quote, "Now I see the secret of making the best person. It is to grow in the open air and to eat and sleep with the earth." Okay, so we've got the message from the Blue Angel Oracle from the trees. Working our way through. I've got a whole checklist. Let me also check my notes here because... Okay. Okay, we've got to come to the tree angel. Okay, so one of my soul sisters, Tracy, is in Arkansas right now, and she has a piece of land there, and she goes out and she talks with the trees and has a beautiful crystal rock that is known as lotus that she sits on and meditates. And while she's there, all these orbs started coming and being around, and she's having this like magical experience and sending me pictures and all that. And her father had told her different places, or a man who was walking the land with her to survey it was showing her all these places. And she said, I don't know. He said something about little fairies or something, you know, being out there. I don't know. And I was like, oh, well, you need to respect the fairy people. First of all, the fae, they're wild, they're force energy. And I said, you know, there's spirits of the trees. And we started talking about ants. But then I also remember, I couldn't recall what they were known as, but those are dryads. So a dryad is a tree spirit. And I'm going to see if I can make this bigger. Dryads and naiads are the water spirits. And so we went into this rabbit hole. Of course, when that happens, I'm getting an activation to go try to find something for someone so that we both can learn more. And I went into the rabbit hole then about what dryads are. So let me show the picture of one of the cards that I found for it. And I will also then give you what the guidance said. Let me get back to my regular screen here. Okay, let's see. So I don't have a way to make it much bigger than this, but you can get a sense that this is like a tree spirit. Okay, so I'm going to share with you what it says about dryads. Protect your energy, clear yourself from energetic clutter, tune into tree wisdom. Dryads are wood nymphs or nature spirits in Greek mythology, particularly of oak trees. There are forms of dryads in numerous cultures around the world. Dryads protect and care for the tree they're born with and inhabit their tree's aura, channels of communication for its spirit. Dryads are a tree's messenger. It is a psychic voice. Its psychic voice. They are powerful energy healers and can be invoked for space and or clearing purposes. You're leaking your precious energies all over the place, and the dryad has come to the rescue. Dryad is the best friend of an empath, a highly sensitive person who taps deeply into the emotional state of others. If you're empathic, you sense someone's feelings and experiences as if they are your own. This is a gift and can make you a wonderful listening ear for your friends. But if you don't take care of your boundaries, it can have a damaging effect on your well-being. How many times have you felt clogged, unbalanced, or drained from being a psychic sponge for everything around you? Dryad offers you this simple energy clearing and protection ritual. Do this exercise morning and evening, especially after being in crowded or emotionally charged environments. All right, I'm going to put this link into the chat for us to be able to do so you can see where this is coming from. All right. And it says, imagine yourself inside. Dryad says, imagine yourself inside the aura of a beautiful tree. Ask to be cleared of all energetic toxicity or invisible baggage that isn't yours. This could be other people's emotion, thoughts, and personal soul lessons that you've unconsciously absorbed. To complete the clearing process, visualize a layer of protective light surrounding your body. Finally, consult the tree's spirit wisdom. Ask if there are any messages it wants to share with you. Then give thanks to the tree. Your aura is refreshed and sealed with Dryad's protection. Additional meetings, take a break from social media. Bring plants into your living space to purify the energy. Check. Get involved in tree planting projects. Learn more about tree wisdom and the invocation. I respect and care for my energy field. I recognize the healing power of trees. All right. I respect and care for my energy field. I'm posting these now. And I recognize the healing power of trees. I'm putting these in the chat. I respect and care for my energy field. I recognize the healing power of trees. All right, received. Okay. So the dryads, check mark. Let me cross them off the list. All right. Touching a tree. Okay, you have to touch the trees. Like, find a tree near you. Yes, find a tree near you. Go out, talk to it, be with it, touch it. give something to it. Okay, like connect with it. I am now thankfully working through that myself. Now, another one of the things that I've gathered here, there is the Angels of Atlantis deck. Now we are talking about restoring the old frequencies of purity from Atlantis and Lemuria, and not falling back into like the state of lack of awareness that happened after the fall, after the destruction of these places. So the Angel of Atlantis deck is actually the first oracle deck I was ever gifted by my friend Kim. Back when I was just beginning to explore card divination. And so I don't subscribe to his channel, but for some reason he came up as a YouTube algorithm likes to send stuff. And so let me share this picture with you. The sunlight through this tree created such an amazing aura for his spirit that I couldn't resist. Om soul love, right? So all those things where people are catching pictures in the trees and catching images of forests and watching trees move from place to place and capturing it on camera. All of that kind of energy. We had pictures taken with us on Ascension Rock and out in Shasta where we saw the angelic presence in the trees and connected. And I have some slides to share with you as we reach the end of this that I will bring forward. Now, so the Angel of Atlantis tree angel with Stuart and the Angels of Atlantis, check out his website. Now, one of the things that we also talked about is in last week is how we are bridging from an old time to a new time. All right. And in the movie, The Game of Thrones, the kingdom of the north, they would go into the forest, and the forest that had faces looking in the knots of the trees, that was part of their what you would call indigenous spiritual practices, was to go out into the wild woods or the weird woods and connect with the ancient trees and those original practices that we saw distilled down to like the Christmas tree through the Christian perspective. But in their country, they were still like going to their ancestral tomb and speaking with their ancestors and lighting candles. We're talking about the Starks, the kings in the north. And they would go into the woods, and if they were in a marital ceremony, they would stand before the wood and be betrothed. They took their oaths and the vows in the sacred groves. And these trees, they would touch these trees that had the faces in them. And trees continue to be a symbol through Game of Thrones because one of the younger Starks was called forward to be the seer, and he kept being drawn to this tree that he saw in another dimension through his visions. So he made his pilgrimage, and when he got into the tree, this elder being that was infused with the tree, the three-eyed raven, was going to try to teach him to journey safely and to be out in the world differently. So he again went to that tree to access the elder energy. Now, if you haven't seen Game of Thrones, sorry, this is a huge spoiler, but like he actually, I think it was himself that he was visiting, but like a reincarnated version of himself, which we speak about the ancestors, like I am my ancestor. But so like the idea of time got a little funny at the end of Game of Thrones, like, you know, in the books, not necessarily in the movie, but still there was the idea that he might have been the original Brandon, like after the turn of the wheel, if you will. So as he was there getting this knowledge, what happened is that he journeyed and went outside the protective circle. And once that happened, he brought back him an energy that enabled their defenses to be penetrated. And so the attack began at that point. They began to be beset upon. And the elder was like, I thought we had more time. Let me deposit with you as much as I can. So, of course, Look at the symbolism of that, right? Urgency of time where there's chaos and possible incursion. Let me get all the ancestral wisdom that I can to help me while the portal or the window is still open. So as all the protagonists are trying to exodus, there was this assistant type character named Hodor, right? And so Hodor was considered to be a simpleton, but he was the brute muscle. He was the bodyguard. He was the one that got them through. So he understood his task was to like help them in the last moment, like to let them all run. And so they were exiting out of this tree, and he's then standing there holding the door. So what we never knew up to that point was, where did his name come from? This is where I'm talking about time going back and forward. It turns out that his name was because those were like what his last words kind of like situation was, like, hold the door, hold the door. And so that over time became Hodor. So I'm going to share the picture of Hodor holding the door in the middle of the forest. He's there and he's like trying to protect those he loves by sacrificing his body against the onslaught of what was coming to try to hurt them. And so that template, like that template of that masculine who's sacrificed, who's holding the door so that those can get to safety. Like if we are the bridge, meaning that we are the ones who are here to hold the proverbial door open through our healing, through what we go through our own trials, challenges, and tribulations. We are emerging from our troubles and tribulations, and then we hold that door open for those frequencies that haven't quite made it to this level yet, of the level of freedom from harm. We are holding the door for those who have not reached a place of safety. But we're holding the door for our children. We're the Generation X. We are the ones. And because we are the awakened ones, we are able to bring in the ancestral connection, bridge the gap, and hold the door open between spirit and man for others to also access the higher guidance. And at times that sacrifice of the self, of that masculine that kills itself on the altar of holding that space for others, we are called to do that differently and to balance, because the toll of having to hold it like that is super great. And it may not be your lifetime to be the one that holds the door to the sacrifice of your life. That's why you clear and you protect your energy field, and you work with the guidance of spirit that can help you navigate better so that it doesn't get to those intense moments of like threat and harm. Okay, so let me get Holder off. Okay, now we are going to go in for, first of all, card number 2. Beautiful love. I hope that you are still here. 1 month. Yes. Okay. From the Tree Angel Oracle, the ancient path into the sacred grove. Now, what you did number 2 on the last one. So we did just do number 2. So anyone who's left, drop me another number for the Tree Angel Oracle to see which section we are going to dial in and add to. And I will tell you that, as I had earlier with Stacy, the conversation, apple tree came into my mind with that gold. And I went into the deck, and it turns out the apple tree in here is covered with gold. And to me, it was like that. you can't sit under my apple tree. Okay. As Erica Benny said, like, you need to, like, in order for me to nourish you and to receive, you can't harm me by that, right? So I need to be sourced from that. And then also the apple is like the wisdom, the divineness. So we're going to read card number, oh yes, okay. Wonderful. Okay, excellent. So somebody pick another number, because I think we already did 2. While we do that, we're going to look at card number 20, hello, 2, and the apple tree. And we had Imran before, which was also number 2. Okay. Card number 20. Here as we go. The apple tree has given joy and brought health to human beings for thousands of years. As a member of the rose family, the apple holds the secret of the earth as Rosa Mundi. The apple synchronizes perfectly with the orchestral light of the sun. It also appears in the legends of King Arthur as the guardian tree of Avalon, the Isle of Eternal Youth. We can catch a hint of this whenever we like. Imagine the moment you are just about to take a bite of an apple. As you hold it gently in your hands, turn it over to decide which part of this beautiful fruit you are going to bite into. In this moment, you are free from your entire past. There is no room for any thoughts about the future. And without any conscious effort, you find yourself deep in meditation. All that exists is the here and now, you and the apple. You have the freedom to choose the most delicious part of life itself. Ooh, please type that. You have the freedom to choose the most delicious part of life itself. Woo! You have the freedom to choose the most delicious part of life itself. This is the apple's role. With it, you find your center, your inner sun, your confidence and self-worth. Apple helps you to free yourself from guilt, burdens, and memories. Could you live in this way for an entire day? Do, or at least try to do so. The more often you step through the door of the eternal present, the closer you will come to Avalon, since, as the name suggests, the Isle of Eternal Youth doesn't just exist in the past. The golden age is far closer than you think. But when we are bereft of the blessings of the apple angel, our days become fruitless. We fail to find relief from guilt, burdens, and worries. We suffer from a lack of self-worth and the pressures weighing us down. The feeling that something is gnawing at our bones weighs heavily on us. All right? So, this is the poem. Health and joy, the light of the rainbow, the source of your very own worth, reborn and golden, eternity in each moment, a breath of everlasting youth, the promise of the faithful sun. All right, the sun will rise again. Always, you have the freedom to choose the most delicious parts of life itself. Yes, yes. And I remember, Stacy, didn't you have some special apples some while ago that you found? They were like, I just had to have them. They were like really expensive, but they were so delicious. They were calling to you, if I recall right. Okay. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. Card number 1, pile number 1. Our ancestors didn't have the freedom to choose the delicious parts of life because our version of us that were operating in that, what we call past lives, we wanted to experience what it wasn't to be free. Like our soul is the lesson of polarity, of balance. Like we cherish freedom when our freedom has been thing that we haven't had access to. So our ancestors are urging us to like receive the freedom. Like, you have so much more choice as a woman. You have so much more choice as a man, as an adult, as a child to do. Don't let that just not be acknowledged, and feel gratitude for every ounce of freedom of choice that you can exercise. And remember that you always have more freedom than what you think is the other thing too. All right, 2 more shuffles and then we'll get pile number 1 here to add to our angel of the apple tree. All right. Interesting. Oh, I like that. Wow. Wow. Horse chestnut. I don't think I've ever got this card before. I'm sorry for the glare, y'all. It's just a weird lighting setup with everything reflected. I'm working on that. You see, he's pouring out. Like, it looks like almost like this father of abundance, because he's pouring out these horse chestnuts. It's like rolling forth from him as he just sits there. That's a very King of Pentacles kind of thing, abundant seeds, because the chestnut, like, this is how we grow. This is what we eat. This is what we're nourished. This is the fruit of this horse chestnut. So this is card number 28, which is a 10 in terms of cycles and moving forward into new coding. All right. The horse chestnut is one of the ancient trees of Europe. It survived the last ice age in a valley hidden in the Balkans, where it remained since its countless large and heavy conkers never fall far from the tree. The apple never falls far from the tree either. It is only in the 16th century that this beautiful tree was, quote unquote, discovered by a Flemish diplomat who was visiting Turkey. From that time onward, it spread far and wide across the world thanks to human intervention and the botanical gardens of Paris and London. Now, in many parts of the globe, children and adults play with its shiny red-brown conkers. And not before time. The horse chestnut had to wait nearly 10,000 years for its fruit to be enjoyed and appreciated. Wow. 10,000 years for its fruit to be enjoyed and appreciated. The angel of horse chestnut possesses an appropriately angelic level of patience. It teaches us an ancient trust to wait peacefully until it is the right time to act. And once we have mastered waiting, we are not actually waiting anymore. We are able to enjoy what is now. We haven't just achieved the ability to be patient. We have also found the optimism and confidence to know that everything will turn out well, or that things are going well already, will get even better. We know that the universe is abundance itself and gives us all plenty. We can join in and become as generous and free as this tree growing on fertile soil with its profusion of leaves, buds, and fruit. Don't hold back. Be generous. Empty vessels will be filled. Let's give pleasure to ourselves and to others. Without the blessing of horse chestnut, we are quick to lose patience. We rush and hurry after things that don't make us happy in the end because the timing just isn't right. When a situation gets serious, we become pessimistic, mean, and mistrustful. The horse chestnut oracle says, stay with it. Be patient. Everything that you need is already before you. And what you need tomorrow is already on its way. An abundance of being nourishes the soul. I love that. What you need tomorrow is already on its way. I love that. What you need tomorrow is already on its way. I received that. Yes. Incoming package. All right. Which I need tomorrow is already on its way. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. And the other one is black poplar. Now, if this is not a free looking card, Yes, like it's emerging forward, like busting forward from the tree of consciousness. I don't know anything about Black Poplar, but it's card number 16, which is a 7, which for me is the calling card of the Divine Mother. All right, so we're keeping it moving here. Just a couple more things to go. Woo! With Black poplar, it's as if a fresh breeze is blowing in your life. You are able to act with speed and flexibility, both mentally and physically. This is not the time to hesitate, but to move your belongings, yourself, perhaps even others. Poplar belongs to the element of air and Mercury, the winged messenger of the gods. Spiritually, new impulses and perspectives are winging their way towards you. Take a deep breath, first out, then in, and enjoy your new sense of freedom as you fly toward new horizons. Embrace the new and especially watch out for messages from afar. Ride the gust of winds and dance in the breeze while remaining firmly rooted like a tree. Drink lots of pure water and allow it to dissipate into the air just as it evaporates from the leaves of the poplar. The water will purify you. Play sports or take part in active yoga sessions that will enable you to perspire. You may also feel impelled to go outside in the wind and rain and to shout or call into the storm from the depths of your soul. Words and song also belong to the mercurial realm of the poplar. A tree that moves so much in the wind needs to have very strong roots. We can enjoy the freedom heralded by the appearance of poplar only if we are firmly grounded in our authentic truth. Without poplar, we lack the deep trust and begin to fear change. Life becomes stale, stuck in the old ways, and mired in outdated views. The poplar oracle says, the wind blows away the past. Messages come from afar. The circles you tread reach far beyond your knowing, and in your own life, you will find an echo of far-off deeds. Look beyond your horizons. Okay, far off deeds. We're looking beyond our horizons with freedom. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, yes. And we had a FedEx delivery. Stacey said delivered by FedEx. Yes. And arms wide open. Yes, yes. Okay. I feel where this is going now. Okay. There's one that I just missed. Oh, okay. Yes. When I first went to Shasta, I did not realize it, but this deck, the Twin Flame Wisdom Oracle by Sharonda and Kumara. I did not know that she lives in Shasta, where she has her gallery and she does her art paintings. These cards are representative of her art paintings. So the first card that I drew right before we were going to Shasta, this was like 3 years ago now, is the Ancestral Karma Clearing card. Lots of things going on. Okay, now, here we have part of the path of divine union. Now, we are unifying polarity within ourselves. That is what the divine love journey is. We will find it reflected in our twin flame out in the world as part of that journey, if that's what we have chosen as a soul. So, part of the path to divine union involves living and being our true authentic selves, free from the emotional baggage of our ancestral lineage. There is no judgment intended here, but the truth remains that in spite of each culture's beautiful spiritual practices, most cultures around the world have exhibited extremely dysfunctional and patriarchal relationships, have exhibited extremely dysfunctional and patriarchal relationship models. These dysfunctional relationship models have created much trauma, pain, and suffering for thousands of years. Twin flames are breaking dysfunctional programming and mind control techniques through the clearing processes they partake in. These clearings open the way for new and healthy relationship paradigms to take root for future generations. The close-up of this card represents the green man, the twin flame of Mother Gaia. That's in another card. I didn't pull that one here. The twin flames love Gaia and humanity with so much devotion and care. Their mission and purpose is polarity integration and establishing new ways of creating sacred relationships through their example. The painting for this oracle card is called Ancestral Forest, and it tells a story about gypsy souls. I made a new gypsy friend recently, a lovely soul sister born in the Ukraine. Upon meeting her, the subject of gypsies from Eastern Europe came up for her and I. We traveled from lifetime to lifetime with our soul group, our ancestral spirit tribe. I felt a strong bond to her gypsy presence. Quote, "You feel like a Romanian gypsy. I know I recognize you from somewhere," I said with an inquisitive mind. She then pulled out a precious photo from her bag and said, "Yes, this is a photo of Romanian gypsies, and the woman in the photo is myself." I was blown away. We were born into this life with veils of forgetfulness placed on our consciousness, but those veils have been dissolving slowly over the decades. If one seeks with an open heart, the soul leads one back to their roots. I created Ancestral Forest with a fiery knowing that my homecoming is nigh. An archer knows these things with closed physical eyes because it is the third eye of spiritual sight that sees the full picture. This skill of the archer helps her reach her spiritual goals. The archer in the painting is myself, born in December, a true Sagittarius. I live my life with fiery goals, but not for material gain or focus. My goals are soul directed by my soul family. There is a song that inspired this painting as well. It is called The Dream of the Archer by Heart. It came out in the 70s, back when my first gypsy sister came into my life. She was my biological cousin, and we shared hopes, dreams, and laughter as the sparks of the divine filled our friendship. Sadly, she died of cancer about 15 years ago. Magic filled my childhood visits to the redwood forests of Garberville, California. Through two amazing gypsy souls that I have recently met, I have felt this magic again. Gypsies are free from within, and they welcome us to embody freedom, peace, and a respect for our ancestry. My celestial roots go back to Venus and to some other very magical places in the universe. Our earthly roots are filled with gypsy lifetimes. You most likely got this card to inspire your curiosity around connecting to your earthly and celestial ancestry. Okay. Earthly and celestial ancestry. Now, I don't know if gypsy is the correct term nowadays. I know the Roma people is what this refers to, and they are all over Europe. I also know that the Roma, one of their main pilgrimages is the feast of Saint Sarah, or Black Sarah, Sarah Lakali. And she is said to be of like the hidden lineage of the Holy Grail of the bloodline through Christ and Mary Magdalene and their divine union, and that is part of the hidden mysteries. But the Roma every year have a feast where they carry Sarah Lakali's statue down to the ocean, right? And it's like the largest gathering of Roma in Europe on the banks of this water area where supposedly the three Marys left from the Holy Land and traveled there as their entrance point then into Europe and the Holy Grail. So I love that connection is coming through from the Roma from the Roma and the nomads and that wandering spirit and those who traveled freely and nomadically as we all once did. Okay, so last deck here. I'm pretty sure I've covered. Oh, okay. So in the I was having a conversation with another wonderful brother, and he was sharing that he's now in an herbal healing class to do family herbal integrative therapy with people. And so, of course, all of that is resonant with us using plants and healing it from the earth. So I was sitting with him and had him draw a card, and the card that we got was Viberarian, and this is from the medicinal cannabis deck. I heard about this deck from Stacey, beautiful guide here. So the Viberarian card was very interesting because here we are with the tree again, sitting here with a shaman-like being in front of a tree. And of course, our friend Don is over in Peru, sitting with shamans and such as that on the steps of the great mountains and portals. So let me pull up what this meant. This was Wednesday that this guidance came through. And it is on page 115, which is the 7. Daniel stands with what first looks like a devil and an angel on each shoulder. But as you look closer, you see a line of ancestors on each side stretching out into infinity. Let me see if you could see these. Ancestors stretching out into infinity. The cannabis plant oracle debuts a blue road of smoke to the volcano bag in hand, and messages flow through the smoke from the ancestors. A giant sycamore tree stands tall as an anchor, while Daniel sits stoically below it. Sobriety reminds us of the who lived before us in order for us to live. Daniel holds a feather eagle, which symbolizes protection from the source. We owe a debt of gratitude to those who believed and kept the faith for future generations. How do you pass on your legacy? How will you break free from the energies that want you to remain trapped in, quote unquote, the norm? Call on your ancestors through the great blue road of smoke and shake off the demons of addiction in all forms. Okay, beautiful. We know that tobacco is one of the things that you can throw on the fire, right? Many indigenous practices have some kind of way of connecting and communing with the fire. And here we have this way of connecting with the lives of the ancestors and that have come before us. Okay, so that's the next to the last tree. So last thing from the oracle of the trees here, and then my last is going to be from my ancestors, as I am a child who was adopted and raised in Kansas and the prairie lands and trees. I wanted to see what my ancestors have to say from the tree spirits from here. So in this oracle of trees, I think we got, we did go through Garberville in Cali. We went to the Avenue of the Giants. Was that Garberville maybe where we were? So in this deck, we have a woman with an apple on the inside. And this tree on the branch of the river on the outside. Oh, I'm sorry. I have to come back. In this ancestors oracle, the energy that came along with this King of Pentacles is having to do, because we saw here the water bringing up from the roots of that tree in the angel tree from the Amazonian angel. We've got other things here that talked about water. The other card that I started reading too early before is, where'd the card go? Oh, I had so many notes here for this. Okay, maybe she's not coming in, but I believe she is. I believe she is. Just let me be methodical in this. Okay, she's not coming in right now. Okay, not coming in. I'm not going to stress it. We're going to continue and go ahead here for the. I will say that it has to do with nourishing waters and emotions, so it will come up for like the next reading likely. So, Oracle from the trees. All right, last number here. Anyone? First number gets it for us. Oh, you said it was near the drive-through tree. That was a debacle. I almost got stuck in the middle of the drive-through tree, which it was too tight of a fit. It could have been catastrophic for my insurance. Okay, number 2. Thank you, moderator. Here we go. We're just doing one card from pile number 2 because this is a longer guidance. This is basically what I do when I go in and start to get a message. So I'm just sharing with you. And so I could spend an afternoon having a conversation and feel very energized and very happy about the guidance that I got coming out of it. And so I hope that that is the case for you today as well. All right, pile number 2. Here we go. The olive tree. Interesting. The olive tree was on the bottom of the deck, and this is number 15. I don't know a lot about olive trees except for they're very sturdy and it takes them a long time to grow. So let's see what we learn about olive tree. A majestic olive tree stands proudly among the ruins of the Acropolis of Athens. Behind the tree are the ruins of the Erechtheum, which celebrated the, I don't know what this says. So it's a temple. And in front of it, there are the abandoned heads of a gigantic marble statue of Athena, recognizable by her helmet. So olive trees have grown spontaneously since ancient times. It is an evergreen with elliptical leaves and hermaphrodite flowers that blossom between May and June. Its roots spread broadly and its trunk, often knotted and gnarled, is distinguished by its characteristic silvery gray color. The olive tree is a remarkably durable plant that loves the sun and the heat and continues to vegetate even through the winter. It can grow as tall as 20 meters or 65 feet and can live 1,000 years. Its fruit is harvested between October and December, depending on the area. All right, we are in that period between October and December. So depending on our area, then we are about to experience massive, I believe, outpouring and harvest and abundance here. So it says, since ancient times, the olive tree has been considered a source of sustenance, but also of religious importance in all of the Mediterranean basins. It is connected to concepts of royalty and sacredness. According to Greek mythology, the olive tree was introduced in Greece by the goddess Athena. The myth recounts that a dispute erupted between Athena and Poseidon regarding dominion over the region of Attica. Zeus decided to settle the question with a challenge. The one who offered the most useful gift to the region's inhabitants would win dominion over them. The event took place on the Apocalypse, and Cecrops, the mythical king, half man and half serpent, was chosen as judge. Poseidon took his trident and struck a rock. out of which sprang a horse, the first to appear to the world. This was his gift to the people of Attica. Athena, in turn, planted an olive tree, thus winning the competition and being appointed patron divinity of the region. Again, in Olympia, Greece, there was a sacred olive grove whose trees provided the branches that were offered to the victors in sporting events. In Rome, the olive tree was attributed to the goddess Pax, personification of the peace that followed military victory. Soldiers carried its branches in their triumphal processions. In the Bible, the olive branch represents peace and restored relationship with God, as seen by the branch carried back to Noah by the dove after the great flood. Olive oil mixed with perfumes was used during coronation ceremonies and is still used today at baptism, confirmation, and last rites. To better understand just how important olive oil is to religious rituals, one need only consider the word Christ in Greek and Messiah in Hebrew. Both mean simply anointed one. The keywords are diplomacy, solution to conflicts, pacification, winning strategies, and important feminine figures. This tree announces the end of an unresolved conflict that has been festering for some time, or a needed clarification following a long period of misunderstanding with someone else. It can also refer to the resolution of problems at work, especially concerning conflicts with colleagues or superiors. More generally, the card represents the closing of a time of anguish for the seeker who will finally find serenity and tranquility. If the question is regarding matters of the heart, the card indicates a return of harmony and accord in the relationship, thanks to a renewed ability to communicate openly and honestly. The card can also indicate an important feminine figure in the seeker's life. This can be a mother, a sister, a friend, but also a girlfriend or wife. The surrounding cards will provide information regarding the role of this person relative to the question imposed. In general, we can expect there to be a significant influence from this woman. If the question is about the character of a specific person, the card describes her as having a strong personality, determined, sure, rational, and dependable, perhaps not particularly inclined to get carried away emotionally, but prepared to commit. The olive and the oak tree together are a particularly good omen for relationships, as it implies a strong and lasting union based on shared values and ideals. This fortunate combination also implies the possibility of a happy marriage. When the olive tree is in challenge, there will be current conflicts and there will be difficulty in finding effective strategies for resolving them. These could be at work, within a circle of friends, and a couple or within the family. We are encouraged to be particularly mindful of how we communicate with those around us in order to avoid misunderstandings. We can also be having a difficult relationship with an important female figure. The advice is to take care of the people you love, and you will be richly rewarded. Okay, take care of the people you love, and you will be richly rewarded. We receive the oil, the sustenance, the continuity, the strength of the olive as we bring about a peaceful reality structure out of the disharmony and conflict of the past. All right, now, the bottom card on this, well, that was the bottom card. The top card was the fig tree, and that is number 7. That is the divine feminine number for me. That is my principal that always shows me where she is. So the strong mother figure that we are talking about, that is here in order to help support us and to give us the guidance into the strength and structure that we're working with, is like the Sophia, the dove descending, the feminine that is rebalancing and reemerging back into ourselves to be nurturing and caring to the world. So let's see what this fig says here. This is a picture of the famous she-wolf suckling Romulus and Remus beneath a fig tree heavy with ripe fruit. The wicker basket at the base of the tree recalls the story of how the twins miraculously arrived at the foot of the Palatine Hill, floating along in a little basket. What? Floating along in a little basket? Are they floating along in a little basket? Okay. They're floating along in a little basket. Romulus and Remus, the twins. A servant had lovingly saved them, disobeying the orders of the deceitful usurper, Amelius, tyrant of the land, and his uncle to the babes who wanted them dead. The soft hills in the background allude to the hills upon which the city of Rome would rise. In botany, the common fig is a tree indigenous to Asia Minor, common first in the Mediterranean basin, then in America and Australia. In its family, it is in the ficus family. It can reach heights of 6 to 10 meters or 20 to 30 feet and produces edible fruit of various colors ranging from green to purple. Its leaves are deciduous, rather large, with many and dark green in color. The symbolism of the fig holds a place of importance in various cultural and religious systems. It was certainly present in the Garden of Eden, easily deduced from the fact that Adam and Eve covered their nakedness with its leaves. It appeared once again in the Bible, in the book of Leviticus, where together with the olive tree, it presented as a symbol of prosperity and happiness. Okay. In Islamic tradition as well, the fig tree, as well as the grapevine, is attributed to Dionysus. Oh, in Islamic tradition as well, the fig tree is notable as one of the trees in the earthly paradise, along with the olive tree. In Islamic tradition as well, the fig tree was noted as one of the trees in the earthly paradise, along with the olive tree that was strictly taboo. In Greek mythology, the fig as well as the grapevine is attributed to Dionysus and alludes to the state of inebriation. The fig tree is also associated with Priapus, the phallic god of fertility. In the legend of the founding of Rome, Romulus and Remus arrived in a basket transported by the river and run aground in the Viberarian, the marshy lowland between Palatine and Capitoline. Here there was a tree identified in various ancient sources as Ficus ruminalis. If there is no doubt that it was a fig tree, there is significant debate about the meaning of the adjective rumindalis. According to some scholars, the word that may be derived is Latin for breast. Others maintain that it is the form of the Etruscan word ruman, or river, while others believe that it comes from the name Romulus. It is interesting to note how the mysterious meaning of the word ruminalis is clearly linked to the origin today of the name of Rome. The key words are success beyond all expectations, wealth, strength, determination, inspiration, achieving important goals, birth of children, and overcoming of all obstacles. If you have drawn this card, it's on page 55. And more importantly, in the upright position, you can be sure that the great things are about to happen. The fig tree is the most favorable card in the deck. It foretells success, triumph, and satisfaction on every front. If the question is regarding a problem that causes the seeker some worry, this indicates that the obstacle will soon be brilliantly overcome, possibly with even greater results than they dare hope for. If the question is about love, this is extremely favorable. It predicts the beginning of a happy relationship with a person of interest, or can also allude to the creating of a family, a wedding or shared home, and the birth of a child. Regarding work, the card tells us that this is the moment to press, to engage fully, even to dare. Great things are brewing on the horizon, especially for those who wish to start or grow their own business. The financial news is good as well. Promotions and raises are in view. All right. Yes, yes, yes. Promotions and raises are in sight. Now, if you're in a challenge, this card is still so tremendously polished that even reversed, it is still the same, even though it might just be a little slower. Success will arrive just as surely, but it will be necessary to wait a little longer. Keep a positive outlook and trust that your moment will arrive. In this, it has a notable effect on minimizing any negative aspects that might be happening in your life. It is time to celebrate because the moment of victory, that olive laurel, that moment of victory has finally arrived. Okay, I received that moment of victory finally arriving and coming in. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy. All right, so the card that my ancestors and the Prairie Oracle, I know I pulled this, yes. The Prairie, this is the tree card from the Prairie, from my ancestors to yours and all of our ancestors to us, all of the tree beings that have blessed us for this conversation today. I love it. The question is, what gift awaits? Glitter. All right, I love it. Glitter, the cottonwood tree. And we know that the cottonwood tree, you could see the little bits of stuff floating through the air when it releases, right? The sight of cottonwood up ahead, her leaves glittering in the sunshine, is a welcome one. She holds a promise of rest and rejuvenation. What will it be? Feel the anticipation build. Give yourself free rein to wonder as you walk towards her, each step bringing you closer. On the vast stretches of flat grassland that make up the prairie, cottonwood is one of the few trees in residence. She readily offers shade and wood to weary travelers. Her presence can also signify refreshment, given that she likes to be near a water source. In autumn, her leaves turn brilliant, buttery yellow, adding warm beauty to the landscape. Find a sun-warmed spot under her arms and look up to see sky peeking through. What do you see written in the clouds above? If you're feeling spry, imagine climbing her trunk and perching on a branch to take in the entire glorious vista. Invite wind to play in your hair and dangle your feet. What would be most helpful or desirous at this time? What would feel like a miracle? Ask the universe to bring it into your life. Believe that you are heard. And then when the present comes, in whatever form it takes, unwrap the gift inside. In whatever form it takes, unwrap the gift inside. That is beautiful, 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 beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. This has been a gift for me today. Thank you to all of you. Please comment, like, share anything that you have, any experiences that you have with trees. I know there's so much more that was happening that I could have probably continued, but the trees have more energy than I do. So thank you so much to all of you. I will see you on the next time that we connect. I send you forward with all the love and light in myself that recognizes and honors the light in you. All right, namaste.